We'll start with Matt Shodell from Kane Sport. Matt, go ahead.
Hey, Jess, thanks for taking the time. So I had a question. I was looking at the snap counts from Pro Football Focus, which I assume are pretty close to what you probably saw. And it was a pretty, even across the board for most of the linemen. And, I know Manny had talked about, maybe some personnel changes, practice thing, see how practice goes. Is there any chance that you might consider, having more of a starter who goes a lot of reps, or do you foresee just sort of keeping it sort of even? Could there be a younger guy, maybe a Leonard Taylor who breaks through? Like, can you sort of discuss your mentality moving forward, just with a sort of a, tough start for the team and how you might address things on the defensive line?
Yeah, I mean, I think, my philosophy is, it starts with, getting as many guys ready to play as you can. And I think playing defensive line is such a different position because it's, you're getting all the contact every play, and then the ball's out of the stack and you're running sideline to sideline. Then you can be dealing with tempo offenses. So, your goal, like coming into the year, having 8 guys that I felt really, really confident in is a big deal. And I think I always say this, I think defensive line play, it starts with, physicality, and then it goes to speed of play. And speed of play to me is so related to your snap count. I've been in situations as a coach where, you were forced to play a guy, 55, 65, even 70 snaps. And it just, I don't care how good a player he is, he just can't play at his best for that amount of time. And I think if you can get in a situation where we are now, where you can have guys playing between 30 and 45 snaps, it just leads to better ball. And it's competitive. It's good for the room. I think the numbers have been generally balanced coming, for 3 weeks now, to be honest with you. And then I think you've seen the emergence. I think, you saw Elijah Roberts for the first time. Guys put in a lot of work as a second-year guy here, got some tools as a rusher. He jumped in and gave us a little bit. And then Leonard Taylor is a kid you mentioned who's getting better every week. He's learning fundamentals. His skill set has grown. He's learning our system and what to do. And he's been really patient. He's doing a good job. And I think you'll see him soon as well.
Coach, next we'll go to David Lake from 24/7. David, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Chance Williams, he's kind of made a play in every game, seems like. I guess, is he a guy that, I know you like to keep the snap count similar, but could he maybe play more in your opinion? And just what are you liking that he's flashed a little bit here in these first 3 games?
You know what? Chance is another one of those young guys, and he has flashed. He's made plays. But as a young player, you can imagine he's still grasping the whole thing. He's still, like everybody, he's made some mistakes. But what you can say is when he's had an opportunity, he has taken advantage of it. He's affected the ball. He's affected the quarterback. But, like what how he prepares, what he does in practice relative to what the other guys are doing, really determines, you see the flash plays, but, from the other perspective, you got to see all the plays.
Coach, we've got Kobe Price from the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Kobe, go ahead.
Thanks, Cam. Hey, Jess, you mentioned Leonard Taylor not too long ago, I think in one of your previous answers. Just curious, what does he need to show you, whether it's in practice this week or practice in the next few weeks, to not just, get on the field, but also get on the field consistently, get that more playing time? I know that a lot of the front line was probably the best defensive players, but what does he need to show you to get there consistently?
First of all, and you said it, like, LT's competing at a position this year that's a very old position for our group and a very talented position at D tackle. The 4 guys we've been rolling out there have played really, really well. I think they've played at a high level for the most part, certainly not perfect, and they can be better too. So, he's had 2 things. He's fighting as a freshman to figure out what we're doing and how we're doing it, learning the scheme, learning the adjustments on the fly, learning the fundamentals of how we do this. And then he's in a position group that's just super deep. And he's definitely, he's flashing in practice. He can win on one-on-ones. And, something I've challenged him is taking his one-on-one wins that he has and things like that to 11-on-11 and be able to transfer it. And, he's really put in some extra work here the last few weeks. And I'll just say he's getting closer for sure.
Coach, we'll go next to Greg LeMega. Greg, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, what would your overall grade be for the defensive line thus far?
You know what, man, I put it in different buckets. I think in the run game, I think at times we play good to very good. I think there's things, that when you watch the tape, there's always things that, we're out of a gap or we don't set a high enough edge. But I think from where we were a year ago to now in the run game, I think you definitely see improvement. I think as rushers, I think there's been some flashes and some things I like. I probably wouldn't grade us as high, but I also think some of that is, when you watch it on TV, you're like, man, you got to get home. In our first 3 games, there just hasn't been as many true pass rush ops as you'd like to see. We're defending so many, say, RPOs on 2nd and long, where the quarterback, when you watch it on TV, yeah, he just dropped back and threw the ball, but the offensive line, the running backs are running a run play, and what looks like a pass down to the average fan is not a pass down for your front 7. And that's the conflict you get put in. And then, in our 3rd downs, I think if you look at it, I think in our 3rd and 8+, man, we have been really, really strong. I think in the 3rd and mediums is where we really got to improve as a whole defense and certainly as a front and getting pressure.
Coach, we've got a couple more for you. We're going to go to Gary Furman from Canesport. Gary, go ahead.
Hey, Jess, this isn't really a defensive line question, but just a overall, I guess, defensive coaching staff mindset question. When the way they keep the stats, they're showing that Miami is the worst tackling team in the country right now. And obviously missed tackles have been an enormous problem for you guys. I'm assuming that's come at an enormous shock to you and your staff cohorts. And I'm just curious, like how that is impacting you guys. I mean, just for the, just breakdowns and fundamentals and things like that, and how you're going to deal with it going forward.
You know what I think when you got an issue, the first thing you do is you shine a light on it. And certainly we're doing that as a staff. I think the next thing is you point to, well, man, we've got guys who have done it the right way before. And I think it's taking them back and showing them pictures of that and how we do it, what's right and what's wrong. And then, then just putting, boots on the grass and let's go to work and we're going to go do it. We're going to do it more. We're going to do it better. But we're capable and we got guys that have done it before and we got guys that are going to do it again. It's something that we're going to clean up. And I think our guys will respond to that.
Coach, last hand up for you is Manny Navarro from The Athletic. Manny, go ahead.
Hey, Jess, kind of along the lines of what Gary just asked you, but more about confidence. When guys make mistakes, they can lose some of that. And I'm just curious, you've been around this game a long time. How do you try to inject confidence on guys who might have lost it when they struggle?
It's funny. We had this talk last night. I really believe this old Bill Parcells quote, you got to accomplish confidence. You can't dream it up. You can't fabricate it. You can't talk it into existence. You got to do it. I think you start with, man, show a guy a picture of him. You have done this and you have done this correct before. I think it's putting him in those situations. I think it's how you speak to them. And I explain to the D line, because a lot of times, those big guys, they got their hand in the dirt. They don't understand what's going on around them. I say, guys, like making a tackle in open space can be as hard as, it's as hard as, catching a ball or shooting a free throw or, all those kind of things. Like it is a skilled thing and you're out there on an island. So you're correct. It is a confidence deal. And I think how you practice it, how you talk about it, how you emphasize it, all that stuff matters. The leverage, and so much of it goes to leverage on defense. And some of our misses, I thought Saturday were just based on, it wasn't the guy trying to make the tackle. It was his brother not leveraging the ball back to him and things like that. And football hadn't changed. And those things will never change. How you use your teammates, how you use the sideline, what you do with your feet on contact, near shoulder, near foot, all those things, how you accelerate, what you do with your arms. And so, obviously, like I said a minute ago, we're going to shine a light on it. And I'm confident we're going to get better at it here very, very soon.